Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel again. Here I am with one more video for you. And in this video today, we are going to discuss about how to back up your website. Of course, if you are a website owner, it's vital for you to have a backup of your site. How to take a backup of your website, I will just show you in this tutorial. For those of you who are new on my channel, my name is Mazhar, and at RightSolutions, I make tutorials for all you DIY people. Let's get started with the tutorials of the day, how to back up your website. Let's head back to our backend of our website. So the site which I'm using for this tutorial, this was the website I just created for another tutorial for my different channel. So we'll just go through that website again, and let's go ahead with my password. So here we are. So to take this to take the backup of our website, we are going to use a free plugin. As always, I always prefer coming up with the tutorials for the plugin which are free, and at the same time they do pretty good job. So let's go ahead and install the plugin. Just go plugins and add new. And here, if you type in a search UpdraftPlus. Okay, so this is the plugin, which is actually possibly, you could see, looking at the details of these plugins, it tells you what this exactly does. But before we go ahead and install this, or maybe just dive in a little deeper in details, so I'll just like to give you some insight of the plugin. So if you look at that 5-star rating for 3,427, that is quite much, actually. It is pretty high. And if you look at the installations, the active installations, about 2 million plus installations. So it shows that this plugin actually has been doing good job for quite some time. Another thing which you should actually pay attention before you're installing a plugin to your website, it is that what was the last update that plugin has been taken care of. So it says about 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, it's quite a longer time for the WordPress platform. But I would still say, because 2 million people have throw their trust behind this plugin, so for sure this plugin is good. And believe me, I have this plugin on my almost on my every website, and it does pretty good job when you are in a dire need of having your backup and just you need to restore your website. It just do a very good job. So in any case, I do suggest it, and I have my faith in this plugin. I'm sure that if you use it, or if you are going to use it, you'll definitely be happy with it. So, okay, this is one of the few options in the market. There are quite few plugins available, but let's go ahead with this. In the future, maybe I'll come up with another tutorial with the different tools which I also use as well. So let's go ahead and install this plugin right now. So say install and activate it as well. Okay, so now our plugin has been installed here. So you can just see that it is appeared here. So you can just go to settings from here. Otherwise, you can just go into the setting menu here on the right side on your menu, and just go somewhere. You'll find it. It is right now at the bottom here. So if you even click this here, it will also take you to the same place for the plugin settings. So let's go into the settings here. And if you look at this, okay, previously I had this installed on my site, so you can see a lot of previous backups, but let's start as we're doing it new. So this is a flat, plain state dashboard and the settings for the plugin. So if you just start with this backup and restore, you gotta, without going to any settings, you got a straightforward place where you can just go and click backup now. And it will just open up a menu here, and it will take you what you want to take in your backup. So you can just see that it gives you the option. I mean, depends what you want to, but generally I would suggest take the backup for the whole site. So include your database in this backup. Yes, you just select it. Include your files in the backup. Of course, the files which you had actually uploaded, or maybe some templates if you have uploaded, so it will also back them up. And send this back up to remote storage. Okay, because I have had already linked this to remote storage previously, so it possibly had allowed me to get connected again. But we'll go through the settings again. So let's do it for the time being without sending it to the remote. And then this is an option for you if you possibly install a fresh WordPress installation and your website is just first time running, and you just want this as a basic of your website, like whenever you need to reset, so you can go to reset it. So select this. Only allow this backup to delete manually. So it will not delete, because this after we will do the settings, it will delete the automatically a previous setup. So if you don't want them to delete, so you can just select this. This should be deleted manually. So let's say backup now. It's working on the backup. It will just you can just see the progress. It will just show you what it is, what are the activities under progress. So as soon your backup is done, all right. So as soon the backup is done, you'll get the message the backup has finished. Okay, so you can just see, if you just go down a little bit here, and here, if you look at this date and you look at this backup here and see the lock button, that means this is the protected one. Nobody will be able to delete it. Okay, so this is the first backup what you did on your fresh site. Okay, you can see a lot of fresh backups here because I have planned it, scheduled it previously. So don't go for that. So what you can do with this, first thing, right now, if you look at this backup is actually on our server at the same place where our website is hosted. And this is never a good idea. Your server can mess it up, and believe me, it happens unexpected. And if your backup is, if you're relying on the backup, which is actually on the same server, you will come into trouble. So I suggest that you download these backups to your computer. Just keep it somewhere safer, not onto the same web server. So of course, this is the solution for the single website owners. If you have more websites, we'll go ahead with the further solution. So I'll just telling it to use single website owners, or possibly if you're just not having a lot of data on it. So if you can just read it here, it says backup data, and click to download. If you just click it here, it will start preparing the database. So okay. You can see here the backup has been actually distributed into 5 different parts. So the first part, what you can see, is the database, which I will click, and it already had prepared for downloading. If you just click it here, it will start downloading into your computer. So if you can just see that it's already downloading. So now go to the plugins and click that as well. And it is just preparing, and now it is prepared. So you can just say click save it to your computer. So it just go to possibly your download folder on your computer. Then go to the next tag, which says themes. Okay, so this is basically all the themes, whatever. I mean, sometimes people have 2 or 3 themes here, maybe a child theme too. So if you want to keep them offline protected, because as the themes are on the server, they keep on updating regularly on whenever the update comes in. So click to download that theme backup as well. And then the uploads mostly your files. Generally it collects the JPEGs, PNGs, your media, whatever you have, audio, video, whatever you uploaded, and then goes to others here. Okay, so other also carries some stuff, possibly your templates, maybe the stuff which has been left from the old plugins, or maybe old themes or something. So this is one way of keeping your backup offline. You can keep it at your computer, or maybe you can just throw it somewhere in your USB where you know that it will be always safe. Okay, so this is the one way, and this is very fresh without putting any effort. You just one-click backup and then download them. Okay, so let's go ahead with the backup. As I said, do not keep your backups on the remote server where your website is hosted. So for that, you need to send your backup to some other places, and you can schedule it. You can just give a regular number of data base separately to keep it. Okay, so let's go into the further tags here. I'll just explain a little bit. If you just look at the second tag here, which says migrate and clone. Okay, this is basically a paid extension for the Updraft clone. So normally we don't need to clone it. When we talk about cloning a website, UpdraftPlus is a good plugin for taking a backup of your site. And it does even do a good job if you are changing your web host. Like let's say that, for instance, you have your web hosting possibly on GoDaddy, or maybe on a HouseGate, or possibly on SiteGround, and you want to change web server from you're moving your hosting from let's say from GoDaddy to HostGator, or maybe to SiteGround. But as long as you're keeping your domain, you don't need to clone your site. So you can just port your site, take a backup, and log into the new web server with the same domain, and upload this data manually. I'll just show you in the further ahead how to upload and download your backed up offline data. Maybe you can fetch it from the remote server too. So we don't need to worry much about it, as long as you need to migrate. Migrating a website means that you are actually changing the domain, let's say from yourdomain.com to mydomain.com. So that requires a migration, which will not be done with the Updraft. So just be aware of it. Okay, so let's go. So this tag, we normally tab, we cannot do much in it. So the next tab, which we actually are going to utilize, is the settings tab. If you go into settings, and here you will see there are some options before we go further down. So let's say the file backup schedule. So you can schedule your backup and just forget about it. It will do automatically without making you think about if your site is backed up or not. So you can select, if you click this arrow here, you will see the pull down menu. It will tell you, of course, no point of doing it manual if you're scheduling it. So you can send backup according to your need of your website. I mean, if you're running a personal website, most probably you don't have much to update on your site every 2 hours, every 4 hours. If you're running a business website, for sure you do need to have your website updated every. You need to have your website backed up every 2, 4, 8, 10 hours. Generally, I suggest for the personal websites, you could take one backup daily, or you can just take 2 backup weekly. So just let's say select daily. So we take backup daily, so it will take 1 backup every day. And now here you can also select how many numbers of the backup should be kept on your remotes wherever we are sending. So I'll just go ahead further on setting up the remote servers. So you can select how many copies you want, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's quite flexible. For a personal websites, 2 copies are okay if you're taking it daily. But you need to know you could change it 4 possibly. All right, you can get 4 copies. You can just retain 4 copies. I would keep 2 because I'm having a lot of backups going to the same place. So I just don't want to pile it up. So next thing, which is important at the same time, the database backup, because that is which is recording mostly all your mails, your comments, your posts, even your possibly your pages. So that I would suggest to possibly do it a little quicker, as we are doing full backup at daily basis, and I would suggest taking a backup of your database, make it half of the time, and at the same time retaining copies of database. Instead of taking 4, let's make 6 or 8. So more database copies you have, more chances are that you could revert your site to earlier stage. If one database doesn't work, the second would do the job. If second does not work, the third will do the job. Okay, so as we are done with the setting of our schedules for the periods and the number of database to be kept, or the backups to be kept, let's move ahead to the next section, where you can choose your remote storage. So if you look at all these options, I mean, they are quite flexible. If you look at the first one, this is UpdraftPlus wallet. Okay, this is for the Premier extensions. I don't see that we need to go into their wallet, because that also allows you to clone your website and copy it and work on the cloned copy. So generally, I don't see a point here, because it's just taking a backup. So you have the option of sending your backup through the FTP. If you just click it here, and here you can just fill up all the FTP server login information, password, and the remote path. I mean, your directive or whatever you just need to show it there. So if you want to send it, if you have FTP server, if you have you're sending it to your private server, maybe your some place where you have your stored files, so you can just use the FTP. Okay, the further settings we'll talk about it later, but I'm not sending it to the FTP. You have the option to send it to the Dropbox, and you have the option to send it. You can just read all of this, but I prefer going with the Google Drive, because that is first thing, it's free, 15 gigs of data. You can just have plenty. You can have stored plenty of backups there, and it still will not run out, and it doesn't cost you any money. I mean, it is free. As long as it is free, you can just use it. So just click onto the Google Drive here, and here, if you can just see the next settings, you can see Google Drive folder. If you are having a premium version, you can just change the name of this folder. You can just put URX by XWZ, whatever folder XYZ, or maybe ABCDE, whatever you want to put, maybe your name or maybe your website name. So for me, it does not matter. It can store it anywhere as long as I have the backup. So here, if you look at the other options here, generally your authentication will be done. The Google authentication will come back to this. So here it is. Generally, the files which should be included, the selection. In my opinion, you don't need to change anything here. But if you just want to look at it, whatever you want to back up, you can just see the plugins. I would suggest always to have a backup of your plugins, because your plugins need to be updated every time, and you don't even know what plugin will come and conflict with your theme or with your with other plugins you have installed. So always have a backup. So if something goes wrong, so you can just go 2, 3, 4 backups back and restore the previous versions, and then solve the problem, or maybe at least uninstall, deactivate, or uninstall the plugin to get out of the trouble. So that's essential. Themes. If you don't have any specific theme which is working with your specific design, you can opt in, opt out. It's not a problem, but I would suggest to take it, because themes are always having new backups are coming in, and maybe something goes wrong, so you just it's easier for you to go and roll back. So the uploads, for sure, this is your data which you had updated, like as I just mentioned previously, like your media, your audio, video, graphics, all it. Okay, now here at the same time, they have already the standard files which normally you don't need to back up, like backup. You don't need to backup. So all these extensions which generally taken by the plugins, sometimes taken by the server, or maybe just left in the directories with the old installations, or maybe changing of plugins or something. So you don't need to take them in your backups, but you have a choice. If you want to, you can just cancel it, and you can edit it. You can just add anything else if you want to. So normally these will be excluded. At the same time here, now if you look at the other directories, I mean, these are the directories basically which are default directories from the plugins and from the themes from the server. So you don't need to carry these directories, because these directories will be there. Like MySQL directory will be there. You don't need to take this. You just need the database. So you don't need to take the directories. So you can exclude these this thing. I mean, if you want to keep something up, you can just keep it. Otherwise, I don't suggest that you don't need. I don't suggest to uncheck any of this. So let this be there. So here are the other options. If you want to encrypt your database, and I believe that you cannot encrypt your database, and it says here you can encrypt it only if you have a premium extension. So normally it's your backup, so you don't need to encrypt it if nobody else is accessing it. So the next option says that if you want your report to be sent to your admin email, so it will be sending it to your admin email. You can check it. Normally, I don't need it. I know it goes to my storage regularly, and I just keep my eye on one place instead of going through all the websites. So anyway, when you're done with this, if you just say save changes. So now with this after saving changes, okay, now because I am already connected, normally it would ask you to authenticate with the Google, so because my account was already authenticated, so it's just taken it from the previous install. So it will come here, and as it is say to deauthorize for all the sites, you click it here. Otherwise, there will be a same hyperlink will say click here. I mean, as you say from the bottom, save changes, this link will come up in a pop-up, and it will tell you to click here to continue and to authorize a plugin with your Google account. So when you click that, it will take you to the login page where you can just key in your Gmail or Google login credentials, and that's it. And after doing this, it will take you back. It will bring you back here, and that your credentials are accepted, and it is connected with your website. Okay, so this is configuring your Google Drive. And now let's go to the next. Normally, you don't need to do anything with these tags, but I just like to give you information about how you can get some information if you want. So just go to Advanced Tools here. So you can just see it says, unless you have a problem, you can completely ignore everything here. So generally, it gives you the information about your site, and it gives you to lock your settings if you just want to lock your settings, but normally you don't need to. And of course, it will not do it because it requires also premium extensions. The site size, this is what is actually normally you don't need it because as you start creating the backups, it will tell you the size of backups, but it will just give you a hint. So if you just say plugins and count, it will just count the size of the plugins installed on your website. So and of course this is not compressed. It's just giving you the information of uncompressed plugins. So the same thing if you click on count themes, it will tell you, okay, the themes are having a size of 9 MB. Then look at the uploads, and if you just see that they're 15.16 MB, and then count others, okay, so that possibly will be a JSON file or something. So it's at 71 KB. So these are the only few things which you can get it here. But yeah, the next one here, like you see that what settings we did. If you go here in this one here, export import settings. This is the place where you can all the settings what we had done right now. So if you think that this is going to be your standard settings and you're just not going to change these settings for any other websites, you can export these settings and import it on the other side wherever you have your site again. But it's just like simple settings. I mean, I would suggest that you should go through these settings every time you install your plugin again. It will give you some refreshing information. Sometimes plugin do some updates which you regularly don't follow, and if you go through the settings, you will just get to see it. So the next one is wipe settings. Okay, we just don't want to wipe settings, so let it be. So this was it. So here is the next tag where it tells you about the premium extensions. These are the extensions, and these are the comparison about free and premium. What I see the most important is this backup remote storage locations. It says yes, and that's what we needed. That's what we're just looking at. The rest of it possibly not very important for me right now. Possibly for the average website owner, that's the important thing. Okay, so here we have seen how to take a backup, also how to schedule a backup for a remote server. And you have taken a backup to keep files on your local host. I mean, at the same place where your website is hosted, and you did download the backup files to your computers too. Okay, so that was the one part. Now, the second part, let's say something goes wrong, and how will you be able to restore your websites? Of course, when you have a backup, you will hit and try and you'll get to it, but well, you will be stressed if you tried and you did not get it right the way you wanted. So I'll just go with the second part of this video right now and tell you and show you actually how you can restore website from the backups we just had taken, either from remote or from the local computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go to the live website. This is the same website. I just told you that this was the website I had used for another channel of mine for a tutorial in a different language. So you can just see this is a fully functional operative website, and let's see if we have a problem with this website. So for this, let's go to our pages, and what I do, let's say, select all of these pages, and so move it to the trash and click apply. And now you see that we have no pages remaining here. Let's go back to our home page here, what we just had it. So let me refresh it. So when the website did not find the home page, it just loaded the blog post. So let's go back again and let's go to the post here and select all these posts here in this section and move them to the trash as well and click apply. All right, here we go. So there's no post, there's no pages anymore. So just go back again to the home page and just let's see what it does now. Okay, so we don't have anything showing on our website here. So what do you need to do? You just need to get it back now. Okay, so this is the time where we will come back and restore our website from the backups which we had taken. So let's go back again. So okay, for the restoration of the website, you know where to go. Just click settings again and look into the settings here. You will find the UpdraftPlus here, and it will load the same page of the UpdraftPlus settings. So here we can do a couple of things. If this manual backup has not been deleted by yourself, you can just start restoring it from here. Or maybe you can just go and click here, upload backup files, and drop your backup files which we had stored it on our computer previously. You can just drop it here and you will upload to your server, and you will just see them here as you can see these files here. So these files will also come here. Or otherwise, you can, if you have your backup stored on the remote server, you can just come and click any of these here and just say just whatever you want to, just say restore. So it will give you the option of restoring from there too. So it's your choice. Wherever you want to do, it will do almost everything will be done almost the same way, except if you look at these backups here, you can just see this backup has been taken, plugins, themes, uploads, and others, but it does not have database. You remember that we had 2 backups of the full website and 4 backups of the database. So that's why the database has been backed up on a different time in different schedules. So that's why you see different database and more database than what we had here. So your choice, you want to do it one by one, you want to do it together. So let's start with okay, I'll show you the both way. First thing what you need to do is just to try to visualize what went wrong and where. Okay, there are a few things which you can actually predict. Let's say the problem what we just seen here, that problem is typically with our web pages and with our post pages and possibly the comment pages. If you think something has gone wrong into the plugins and maybe into the themes, so you can just select, say, restore, and it will bring up this page here, which will give you all the options what you want to restore. So let's say if you have a problem with the plugin, so just click plugin. If you have a problem with the theme, just click theme. If you think that there's something has been uploaded with your files, maybe you uploaded something, some theme which had some corrupted script in it, or maybe some HTML, maybe CSS file which has some corrupted data in it, you can just select this as well. Maybe if you have something added, possibly some template or something. So if you think that had created a problem, you can select this one too. But in most cases, if something is wrong with your web page, which possibly due to some plugin update, the structure of the page has changed, or possibly update of theme has changed your structure. So in that case, you possibly need to upload anything. But generally, database carries your post, your comments, your mail, and some stuff which you are actually possibly your passwords and these things. This is being kept into the database here. So in this case, like what we had seen, that our website has the thing in it. So in our case, the most important thing which is required to be updated is the database. So I'll just let's say I'll leave others, I'll leave uploads, and I'll just uncheck plugin and themes, because we know that there's nothing wrong with the themes. We just literally deleted our web pages. So just click here, say next, and it will start preparing the backup database file, and it will unzip the files. So here, if you can just see that it has already retrieved the necessary information and prepared your backup files. So now you can just say that restore it. So if you just simply click restore. Okay, this is also good. I was not planning for this. Okay, so here you can see that sometimes your data, your restoration will fail. So you can just see that it says restoration is failed. Don't get panic here, and just look at the activity log here. You can just see that there's information saying delete old directories. Okay, it possibly has done some older backup, or possibly restored it previously. So it will not restore, because what we are restoring possibly is older than the one we had in that directory. So it just want you to to delete these directories. So this is an added tip in your tutorial again. So delete that old directory. Okay, as soon the directory has been removed, it just gives you the information what directories has been removed. So click this here to go back again to the configuration page. So again, just go here and just let's say click this one again and say restore. So again, same thing. Just let's say we possibly don't need to select everything. So just say database, others, and uploads, and just say next. All right. So it's prepared. So just say restore it now, and just follow it on the screen. It will just give you all the information what is happening. So it's verifying. All right. Say upload it up. So you can see that it says the restore is successful. And if you just want to see what has been restored, it will just give you all the information what has been done. So you can save this as a log if you just want to. Just click this and download the log. Normally it's done, but okay, if you just want to be safe and just want to figure it out if something went wrong, it will show you here. So let's go here, return back to the configuration page. So as you see that we had successfully restored our website. Now let's go and check if our pages are back. So this was the page, my home page here. So let's reload it again. Oh, it's back. So you can just see that my page is fully back as it was in the beginning. That was it. So you can just see that it just with a very simple process, it has restored. And if actually you just want to go and see into the pages folder again, just click here, and you will just see all these pages which we had deleted. It had restored them from the backup. And if you just pay attention that we don't have any trashed, that previously we trashed all these 7 pages and it was gone into the trash. So now there's no pages in the trash because it has overwritten your database, and the trash is completely was empty on that. So you don't see anything here. And at the same time, if you just go into the post folder, and you can just see here all these posts which we had previously in this place. So it was here. So, okay, guys, so that is pretty much for your backing up your website, sending it to the remote server, and restoring at the same time. And I hope you like this video. And if you think this video was helpful for you, so please do not forget to give me a thumbs up. If you still did not subscribe to my channel, so please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get the notification for my next video.